No, I just think Bray was hot, and he was in a rhythm, and got to talk to Al and trust him to make sure the rotation is right, and just as coaches be mindful of and trust our guys to get in there.
What's your message being to the recruits who are committed to this program, especially the ones who may be considering visiting other schools simply because they're just unsure what the future might hold here?
Yeah, I think that Wisconsin football is still Wisconsin football. This university is still a great university, and the staff is battling. They understand there's been some change in the air, but a lot of the reasons that they chose this university is still the same.
Bobby, if you look at Purdue's past defense, they give up a lot of yards, but they also turn guys over a lot. What are some of the factors that have been allowed them to take the ball away so much this year?
Yeah, I think they're opportunistic in terms of I think they break well on the ball in the secondary. If there's a tip ball in the air, those guys seem to get their hands on it. I just think they're in the right spot. They play good, sound defense, and them being in the right position allows them to take advantage of when teams make mistakes.
Do you have some guys up front that have been able to heat up the quarterbacks as well?
I think they do a good job. Up front, at the linebacker level of blitzing. They don't do it a lot, but when they come, they do some games, some things that you got to be on top of. They bring some pressures from the field and from the boundary that we might have to make sure we're on top of. And they're in really good, solid defense, well coached, and they play hard. But I think you see them take advantage of the opportunities when they present themselves to their defense.
What do you think the offensive line learned about last week? A lot of quarterback pressures, and again facing a defense that really loves to pressure the QB.
Yeah, you have to talk to Bo or the line about that, about what they learned.
We don't get to talk to Bo, though.
I haven't asked them that question, so I can't answer for them.
You're talking about pressure that Purdue can bring. The play in second overtime at Michigan State where Braylon fumbled, it looked like they brought a well-timed corner blitz. Is there any answer for that in that scheme that you guys have, or is that just something that you don't have an answer to on that play?
We have answers.
Okay.
We have different protections that account for the corner cat, several different ones. He's coming from distance. You got to get the ball out. In that particular instance, it was a run play.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a pass play.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant. On that running play, because it looks like I don't know how you account for that.
Well, it's a good call. The receiver's trying to anticipate that, but it's a good call.
Okay.
And in that instance, you just got to protect the football.
Okay.
I don't know how much time you've been able to
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I don't know how much time you've been able to spend around Bobby Engram. Obviously, you've got to worry about the offense, but since you've been here, have there been any encounters where you've gotten takeaways from what he's like as a coach and how he's been able to help the defense or just the staff in general?
I know he's a smart coach. I know he's a good coach. He's intense, and he has the players' respect. So I watch all of our coaches. I think I've learned just how they operate and watching how they communicate and how they teach. I've watched him down there when I go watch Marshall, how he's on the scout team offense, and he's running the defense, and Bobby's running the games and doing different things, preparing the defense with the blitz packages. So great communicator. He's very organized, and he's a really good coach.
Back to the offensive line. When you review the tape on Sunday, is there a consistent issue with the pass protection, or is it just simply losing some one-on-ones here and there?
There's no consistent issues. I think as a whole offense, we have to execute, consistently. And I think you saw that well early in the game, and I think you saw it late. We have to figure out a way to do that consistently throughout the game.
Outside of that game-tying drive, did you feel like in the second half this offense kind of just felt stagnant a little bit?
Yeah, we got to do some things to move the football. I think we had some quicker drives, and the part of the problem is we got to be better on first and second down. We got ourselves into some third and longs there in the second half. I think 3rd and 9 plus, 4 or 5 times in a row, and that's tough to overcome. So we got to do better on first and second down. I got to do a job of continuing to mix it up, and then we just, we had a 12-play drive within a couple of those 3 and outs that we just didn't get points on as well. So, being consistent, sustaining drives, and finding out ways to punch the ball in the end zone. Because once we get to the red zone, we've been pretty good. We got to find more ways to get there consistently.
What's your
Talking about the offensive line, there have been a lot of starting fives with injury or because of the guy's choice. Do you think that's kind of corrected the conclusion that they have? Do you think that's how
I think anytime the offensive line, you got 5 guys that have to execute as one. So anytime you have fluctuation, it impacts them. Nobody's going to make excuses. We dealt with some adversity. We trust our guys that are in there. But whenever you have 5 guys that are in there consistently, of course, they're going to have more cohesiveness than, guys are in and out.
And as a follow-up, do you plan to continue starting with 5 with the last 2 games, or do you believe that
we have a plan. You'll see on Saturday.
Bobby, what's your reaction to Marcus Allen deciding to enter the transfer portal? I mean, obviously people in the league probably weren't happy with the roles, but he was a guy who looked like he was going to be a big contributor
Right.
late this season. Did that surprise you? And what was your reaction?
A little bit. It's just, number one is every situation is different. And you try and talk to the young man and you understand where he's coming from and what his reasons are. And, it's unfortunate, but we wish Marcus well. And, he had reasons that he felt like that was the right decision for him.
Bobby, you've been a player, an assistant coach, now a coordinator. Jim mentioned the other day that part of his message in a recent meeting was, look, guys, we've had some adversity. We need to know who's all here and wants to be here. And if you're not, let us know and move on.
Mm-hmm.
What was the reaction in the room like? What was the reaction in your mind when you heard that? I think I understand why he said it, but how did you react?
I wasn't in the room.
Oh, okay.
It was just more of a travel meeting. It was Jim. He relayed that to the coaches.
Okay.
But, in his position, I think it's the right thing to do.
Okay.
We've been through a lot of adversity, and you just need to make sure guys that are in are all in.
Okay.
I support his message.
Do you see Purdue's run defense kind of stingy? They haven't allowed a lot of rushing touchdowns, and obviously you want to attack with Braylon and the guys. Again, do you see their run defense is kind of stingy?
Yeah, I just think they have a good defense, man. They play hard, they play well, they run to the ball. And again, I focus really on what we need to do offensively. We're studying them, but I think the big thing for us is what our game plan is and being able to go out and execute that consistently and execute at a high level.
Probably when it comes to rotations and getting different guys in that position, is that up to the position coach, or do you kind of dictate it at times, or how does that go from the offense?
We talk about it, the plan going into the week and how we want to rotate different position groups, but I trust our coaches to make sure we're getting the right guys in there, and things may change during the course of the game for many different reasons, but it's discussed, but trust the guys to make sure we're getting the players in there, and some of it is by game plan, some of it is by play.
Have you been impacted at all by the injuries at tight end and obviously at fullback and not having Jackson last week? Have you been impacted in the way that you can call a game?
No, I mean, you always want all of your guys out there, right? But the game must be played. We game plan a certain way, and I have to call it and trust the guys that are in there.
With the Stephon Bracey transfer, curious to see what recruiting see that in what his role was going to be.
You have to talk to trainers about that. I'm not sure what his status was at the time when he transferred.
Graham made some pretty clutch throws calm throws in clutch situations. The 4th and goal to Lewis and the touchdown to DK in overtime. Is that something you noticed about his demeanor, especially now that you're on the sideline, being calm and collected?
I just think he's a competitor. I think he has grown, since his time here. And it was good to see him make those throws in that moment and trust his guys. And Graham obviously is throwing the ball, but the O-line's protecting. The backs are stepping up and blocking linebackers. The receivers are making the plays. The backs are making the plays. So, it's a collective effort as an offense when you're able to execute in a critical moment like that. So credit to the entire offense, and obviously the quarterback kind of gets a lot of the credit and a lot of the blame, as we all know. But just proud of the way he's working and how diligent he stayed in this process and how consistent he's been in his approach.
Speaking about Stephon Bracey and also do you anticipate a bigger role for Vinny his role working for
I think the whole room has to step up. I think the whole room understands that there's an opportunity, and I think they've been working and they're ready. Good.
Thanks, Bobby. Thank you.